Right now, cold is in the forecast this Saturday, and it will be followed by even chillier weather. Chris is tracking your first alert forecast. And the first holiday shipping deadline is here. We'll tell you what you need to know and how you can get your gifts to where they need to be by Christmas Eve.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now This Morning.
Good morning, and thanks for starting your day with us here on News 3 Now. It's Saturday, December 14th. How many days until Christmas Eve, Chris?
11.
11.
Well, until Christmas Eve, 10.
11 till Christmas Day. You got
Yes.
it. And you are thinking right now, not a likely chance for a white Christmas.
We do not have snow chances in the forecast as we go through the next 10 days. Granted, 10 days is a long time in weather world, and I think there's a lot that can change. In fact, about 3 days ago, the models were showing a snowstorm for Monday. I unfortunately think that's going to miss towards the south. So things can change, but we're looking dry as we go through time. Freezing drizzle is out there. Keely knows a lot about that one because she did take a tumble not too long ago. The parking lot will be turning colder as we go through the rest of the day, and then some quiet weather sticks around through next week. Keely, here's where the ice came from that you slipped on. We have some fog out there right now. That's creating just enough mist and drizzle that when it reaches the ground, it actually freezes on contact with those surfaces. That's because temperatures are in the low 20s, 25 in Madison right now, Janesville at 30, Wisconsin Dells at 21. Folks, I do believe this is about as warm as we get as we go throughout the day. Your high was 28. That actually occurred moments ago. We're still falling. We're at 25 now. We will continue to watch those temperatures fall. Look for them to be in the lower 20s by the time we get you towards the afternoon.
Thanks for throwing me under the bus.
My pleasure. I just wanted to make sure everyone looked out for ice.
Basically under your car. Chris was out there, and I'm like, what are you doing? He's checking that parking lot for ice, and I was like, okay, sounds good. And then when I hopped in the car to go get coffee, I fell before that happened.
We're glad you're okay.
I'm okay.
No.
But be safe, everybody. All right, thank you, Chris. Thanks for telling everyone about that. We begin this morning on Madison's east side, where a nearly 5-hour standoff is now over and the suspect in custody. Madison police say they got a call around 7:30 last night that someone was shooting a gun on the 6300 block of 7 Pines Avenue. They say once they arrived, the man went into a house on the block. Nearly 5 hours later, the MPD SWAT team was able to identify that man and get him out of the house. His name is Frederick G. Jackson. He was arrested on several charges, including recklessly endangering safety and felon in possession of a firearm. Officers say they don't believe Jackson was initially firing his gun at a specific person or home. Developing now, police are still working to learn who put hidden cameras in a Minneapolis hotel room where Madison East High School students were staying. Here in Wisconsin, we confirmed through Cottage Grove police they executed a search warrant for a home in the village of Cottage Grove Thursday. Isthmus is reporting police also searched the school. Madison School Superintendent Jane Belmore says the district has put extra staff at East High School to help support students. And an update to a story we broke this week. Jefferson Middle School says it will be hosting a family night in early January to address recent safety challenges at the school. According to a letter sent to parents, Madison Principal Tequila Kurtz says a time and date for the event have yet to be set. She says this is an opportunity for parents to express concerns and a time to generate solutions. It all stems from an incident where a student shot classmates with a BB gun. The day of the incident, Kurtz told families she did not believe the student meant any harm. However, about a week later, News 3 Now reported that same student had 24 previous write-ups, including making threats of wanting to shoot up the school and everyone in it. We have new information this morning. A top aide to Governor Evers warned Foxconn last month that a scaled-down facility won't qualify for tax credits unless the company renegotiates with the state. The letter was sent last month but was released late Friday. Foxconn originally proposed building a massive flat-screen plant in Mount Pleasant that would eventually employ 13,000 people in return for $3 billion in state incentives. But earlier this year, the company decided to downsize the factory to make smaller display screens and cell phones. The clock is winding down to send your holiday gifts to where they need to be on time, at least. Today is the deadline for retail ground shipments to make it to their destinations by Christmas. For greeting cards and packages under 1 pound, you still have a little bit more time. That deadline is next Friday, December 20th. And if you're really procrastinating, you still have some time. Saturday, December 21st, you can send gifts through Priority Mail, and until December 23rd for Priority Mail Express. Local businesses are seeing an increase in sales as people are rushing into town for the UW-Madison Volleyball Championships. Some business owners on Monroe Street say they expect an increase in sales from holiday shoppers, but now they're seeing an even bigger increase because of those volleyball fans. Tickets for the women's volleyball team sold out in 45 minutes Monday, bringing in more fans than usual. Speaking of this time of year, Badgers' second straight Elite Eight appearance, the Badgers women's are getting ready to face former Wisconsin head coach John Cook and his 4-time defending national champions, the Nebraska Huskers, tonight at the Fieldhouse. They made it this far after winning big against Texas A&M. The Badgers swept the team and now have 9 consecutive sets, thanks to what players are calling their consistency in attitude and effort.
I go with the same mentality every single match. I want to get kills, I want to put the ball away, score points. So that's my mentality for every single match. And I mean, Clark dimed that pass, and it was that pass was even better than the kill. So
yeah, it's really exciting. I mean, no matter who we're going to play, we're expecting a battle. We're expecting 5 sets, going extra points. So really excited.
During the regular season, the Badgers swept the Huskers both at the Fieldhouse and on the road, something that hasn't happened in program history. The winner of tonight's Elite Eight matchup punches a ticket to the Final Four in Pittsburgh. That's next weekend. And it was a busy night for the Badger football team, too, as they hosted their award banquet. Among the big winners, Quintez Cephas winning Comeback Player of the Year and Offensive Impact Player of the Year as well. Wisconsin had some big winners this week on the national stage, too. Tyler Biotage winning the Badgers' first Remington Award and Jonathan Taylor winning the Doak Walker Award for the 2nd year in a row. But there's another awards ceremony happening this weekend in New York City, one that JT wasn't invited to. So is he stunned that he wasn't a Heisman finalist?
Oh, no, I wasn't surprised at all. I mean, you look at the guys who went there. I mean, I'd pick to bring those guys to New York, too. So, I mean, that's why we have voters, so they can vote on the guys to bring up there. And I'm sure that, it'd be a great experience. And who wouldn't like to go up there? So.
It's Bears week at Lambeau Field, and the Packers need to get the stadium ready for tomorrow's big game. Hundreds were inside Lambeau Friday night shoveling out all this snow. The 200th meeting between the Packers and Bears kicks off at noon Sunday at Lambeau Field. Well, ground has officially been broken on a residential community in New Glarus, built to give individuals with special needs independence. A group of parents who were concerned about the futures of their children with developmental and other disabilities started the nonprofit Home of Our Own. The 40-unit development will have 10 units set aside for people with disabilities. The others will be available for anyone else looking for affordable housing. The organization says places like this don't really exist outside of big cities. The only options are to live with your parents or in a group home. Dane County Regional Airport is adding a nonstop flight to Washington, D.C. United Airlines will start offering twice daily nonstop flights to the airport starting in May. Ticket sales begin tomorrow. Airport officials say the flights will offer routes and business and leisure travel to D.C., plus serve as a connection to the 34 international flight stations offered there. And we've already had some cold, gloomy days this season, but we're really a week away from the official start of winter. But the way we treat the tradition and togetherness can have a significant impact on how well we handle this time of year. You may have heard of the concept called hygge. It's a Scandinavian culture that refers to feelings of coziness and togetherness. Embracing this time of year is part of the reason why people in Stoughton like to celebrate those Norwegian roots.
The traditions are carried down, the work ethic is carried down. The community itself is very proud of the Norwegian tradition. And I like to think after people live here for a while, they embrace it as well.
We'll have more on the hygge mindset we might all want to adopt before the next cold snap or blizzard hits tomorrow morning on News 3 Now at 6:30. Time right now, it's 8:08. Speaking of the cold, that is what Chris is tracking this Saturday morning. You're taking a live look over the Capitol. He'll have your full forecast just ahead.
For a clear, easy to understand forecast, watch First Alert Weather.
We are at it again for the third morning in a row with the freezing fog over southern Wisconsin. Folks, if you are headed out the door, that's one of the things you need to know before you go. You will be facing slippery spots out on area roadways. Also, you'll want those fog lights, and the freezing drizzle likely continues for a large part of the day. Now, most of the fog is thickest as you work your way towards the lake shore. That's where visibility is down towards 2 miles in places like Waukesha, Quatertown, Johnson Creek. It's where your visibility is about 2.5 miles. Now we look back towards the west and things clear out a little bit for us. 4-mile visibility in Madison, 7-mile visibility as you work your way over towards Mineral Point. Things are continuing to improve, but it's still very cloudy out there. 25 is our temperature right now. We may jump up towards 27 or so, but I think those temperatures still continue to drop as we go throughout the day. And that's generally the theme. The high temperature today occurs earlier on, and then temperatures continue to fall throughout the rest of time. That's because those winds coming in from the north and west, that's sending that colder air our direction. And oddly enough, that's what's going to save us from getting in on a winter storm as we move into early next week. High resolution Doppler is free of anything showing up, but keep in mind a lot of those areas that are seeing the drizzle, a lot of that's going to be too low to be picked up on the radar beam. So there is a lot of drizzle out there. But here's what happens as we go through the rest of the day. By 3 o'clock, temperatures will be into the low 20s for most of us. 24 for Madison, 22 as you work your way towards the Dells. By 7 o'clock, we still see those temperatures falling. Teens show up towards the north and west. I point that out because teens is where most of us end up as we move into the overnight hours into tomorrow. 6 o'clock on Sunday morning, look for those temperatures right around 12 degrees for Madison. A lot of folks, especially in those outlying areas, will likely be into the single digits. We stay in the low 20s for those highs. On Sunday, clouds will begin to increase. I can't rule out a chance for some flurries as we move into Monday. But the overall bulk of the system that's going to be bringing wintry weather to parts of the Ohio Valley and the Midwest will stay to our south. I think cloud cover is all we'll truly have to contend with. If you wanted a white Christmas, that was the chance, and I think we're throwing away the shot as we continue to see dry weather sticking around with maybe a little snow chance on the 20th, but that's something that is honestly just now starting to show up on the models. We'll watch it, but the general theme for things has been to be very dry. So if you have been dreaming for a white Christmas, right now I'm going to tell you to keep dreaming, and that's what I'll do. I'm 25 years into life, Keely, and I still haven't had a white Christmas yet, but that's all right. Maybe year 26. We'll see what happens. Dry weather sticks around as we go through the next 10 days. We'll see some clouds, and if you are hoping for some snow, just plan on traveling somewhere because
Chris,
it's not here.
Your forecasts are really always very accurate, but I'm feeling a Christmas miracle. I think it's going to snow for you. I really do.
Christmas Eve and Christmas Day are not in that forecast.
All right, well, we'll see. Okay, thank you. If you do have any plans that involve going outside maybe this weekend, this is your reminder to download our Channel 3000 weather and traffic app. You'll be the first to know when weather that will affect your day is headed your way with the most up-to-date and accurate weather conditions. You can get it for free in your app store. TripAdvisor predicts a record-breaking number of travelers will be moving around this holiday season. 56% are going out of town for Christmas, 4% are traveling for Hanukkah, and 26% are taking a trip to celebrate New Year's Eve. The highways and airways will both be very busy as 46% are planning to drive and 44% are planning to fly. The most popular destination this season, Honolulu, Hawaii. I believe that. A reminder, you can become one of Santa's elves as part of Operation Santa this holiday season. You'll find everything you need to know on the USPS website. All over the country, kids will send letters to Santa asking for everything from toys to basic needs like a warm coat. And you can help make their Christmas wishes come true. Letters to Santa from low-income kids are still available for adoption online. You can pick a letter from any city in the country, and it's tax deductible. Just remember those deadlines we told you about and get them out by next Friday, December 20th. If you want to add your child to the list, you can go to beanelf.org and they have everything you need to know up on that website. 8:16, R. Kelly is back on TV screens and in the headlines. And there's another holiday remake you can check out in theaters right now. But there's also plenty available on streaming services if you don't feel like leaving your house this chilly Saturday. Will's picks are just ahead in trending news. Let's take a look at what is trending this morning. Lifetime has released an explosive new trailer for Surviving R. Kelly Part 2, The Reckoning. The follow-up to the groundbreaking docu-series Surviving R. Kelly includes new interviews with industry figures like Damon Dash and survivors of R. Kelly's alleged abuse. Since the series aired, R. Kelly has been charged with both federal and state crimes relating to those accusations. The 3-night event premieres January 2nd on Lifetime. Luke Perry has picked up a posthumous SAG award. The late actor was nominated for his role in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in the Outstanding Performance by a Cast category. It marked the last big screen appearance for the 52-year-old who died back in March. And get ready for holiday fear in the remake of the 1974 horror film Black Christmas. A group of female students is stalked by a stranger until young sorority pledges discover that the killer is part of an underground college conspiracy. The director says female characters are often delegated to victim roles like this, but this time they're taking their power back. This is the first weekend you can catch the film in theaters. But if leaving your house isn't part of your weekend plans, you are in luck. Here is Will Loper's picks of what's now showing and streaming in this week's 3 Things to Watch.
I just want to take care of my grandma, maybe go shopping every once in a while.
When I was a kid, I always wanted to work with animals. I was close.
New on home video this week is the film Hustlers.
These Wall Street guys, you see what they did to this country? They stole from everybody. Hardworking people lost everything.
The game is rigged, and it does not reward people who play by the rules.
It's like robbing a bank, except you get the keys. Are you in?
Constance Wu and Jennifer Lopez star as adult performers who find a way to get back at Wall Street workers after the 2007 financial collapse.
Jobs, please. What if somebody calls the cops? And says what? I spent $5,000 at a strip club, send help.
Hustlers is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
And when would you say that things got out of control?
Pass the mirror. Please help, this is my husband.
We've been looking for a special operator like you for a while.
Who are you?
If it's mindless action you're in the mood for, check out Michael Bay's film 6 Underground, newly streaming on Netflix.
We do the dirty work, others can't.
Here's the fun part.
From now on, you're dead. It's all erased.
Ryan Reynolds stars as the leader of 6 operatives who fake their own deaths and team up to take down a dictator.
We're all gonna die. May as well do it while we're alive.
6 Underground is available to stream on Netflix now.
Bonjour.
Hi. Hey.
Hi.
Finally, also new on home video this week is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I'm Rick Dalton. It's my pleasure, Mr. Schwartz.
Call me Marvin. Put it there. That's your son?
No, it's my stunt double, Cliff Booth.
Quentin Tarantino writes and directs the film that follows a has-been actor, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, and his stuntman, played by Brad Pitt, as they try to make their mark in Hollywood.
All right, what's the matter, partner?
It's official, old buddy. I'm a has-been.
I'm Sharon Tate. I'm in the movie.
You're in this?
That's me. I play Miss Carlson, the klutz.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is available to rent or buy everywhere now. Happy watching. Those are the 3 things you need to watch, and this is Will Loper for News 3 Now this morning.
And And it isn't the holidays without a classic movie or two. And at Marcus Theaters, you can watch your favorites on the big screen right now. Marcus Theaters is showing new and old movies every weekend until Christmas as part of its Holiday Classics Retro series. For $6, you can see How the Grinch Stole Christmas, A White Christmas, It's a Wonderful Life, and everyone's favorite, Elf, on the big screen. Our producer, Christina Laurie, wrote that everyone's favorite is Elf. Christina, I don't know, I might have to disagree with you there. Marcus General Manager says it's a great way for parents to take their kids to see their favorites on the big screen for the very first time. And this month marks the start of a busy season in theaters. Jumanji comes out this weekend, and then next weekend is the big one with the new Star Wars.
December is just what we strive for in our industry. It's fun, it's exciting, we have new movies going on, we have so many fun little programs because people really enjoy going to the movies during the holidays.
And the holidays may be a popular time to visit theaters, but the number of moviegoers is going down once again. According to the website Statista, just 14% of Americans go to the movies each month, and nearly half of us don't even go anytime during the year. There's much more ahead on News 3 Now. Next, we are running through the morning's top stories, including the December local business boom, thanks not only to the holidays, but Badger fans who are in town for a major matchup tonight. We'll explain just ahead. Right now, we're finding out what's behind the latest wedding trend, tiny ceremonies, while couples are downsizing on their big day.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning. It's December 14th. I'm Keely Arthur. We'll get a check of your frosty forecast with Chris in just a second. But first, we begin this morning on Madison's east side. That's where a nearly 5-hour standoff is now over and the suspect in custody. Madison police say they got a call around 7:30 last night that someone was shooting a gun on the 6300 block of 7 Pines Avenue. They say once they arrived, the man went into a house on that block. Nearly 5 hours later, the MPD SWAT team got the man identified as Frederick G. Jackson to come out of the house, and he was arrested on several charges, including recklessly endangering safety and felon in possession of a firearm. Officers say they don't believe Jackson was initially firing his gun at a specific person or house. Local businesses are seeing an increase in sales as people are rushing into town for the UW-Madison Volleyball Championships. Some business owners on Monroe Street say they expect an increase in sales not only from holiday shoppers, but from Badger fans because of the volleyball game here. The Badger women's are getting ready to face former Wisconsin head coach John Cook and his 4-time defending national champs, the Nebraska Huskers, tonight at the Fieldhouse. The winner of tonight's Elite 8 matchup punches a ticket to the Final Four in Pittsburgh next weekend. Go Badgers! And the clock is winding down to send your holiday gifts to where they need to be on time at least. Today is the deadline for retail ground shipments to make it to their destinations by Christmas. For greeting cards and packages under 1 pound, you have a little bit more time. That deadline is next Friday. If you're really procrastinating, though, you still have until next Saturday, December 21st, to send gifts through Priority Mail, and then until December 23rd for Priority Mail Express, but of course that'll cost you a little bit more. Switching gears to meteorologist Chris Reese, who is delivering a frosty forecast.
Yeah, it is a little bit frosty. 3 things to know weather-wise is that we are dealing with some freezing drizzle for the 3rd morning in a row as we continue to turn colder going through the weekend. By the time we get you towards next week, I do think our weather pattern is going to be a bit quiet. Here's a live look outside right now. This is about the best visibility we have seen over the past 72 hours from this sky cam. But still, as you work your way towards the east side of Dane County, that's where visibility is down below 2 miles in some spots. It's also pretty heavy in terms of fog as you work your way over towards the lakeshore, back towards the hill country per se. That's where things get just a little bit better in terms of visibility. But folks, any of the fog that's out there, you end up with the mist that comes down with that. That freezes on contact with surfaces, especially as those surface temperatures are below freezing. 25 is the air temperature in Madison right now. Road surface temperatures are actually a little bit colder than that. So that is why we are warning folks who are traveling of the slick spots that you'll see out there this morning. 28 was our high. That happened earlier on. Temperatures will continue to drop now as we go throughout the rest of the day. Look for temperatures around lunchtime to be into the mid-20s, lower 20s as you work your way towards the evening. Keely?
All right, thank you, Chris. We are talking weddings this morning. Here in the U.S., many couples choose large events, but those come with big expectations and even bigger price tags. Now, some are taking a very different approach. Adriana Diaz met one couple in Ohio who decided to go tiny on their big day.
It was instant chemistry. She just got me.
This Ohio pair is so compatible, even their names are a perfect match. Meet Sean and Fawn.
How did you guys meet? On Tinder.
On Tinder.
I was
Same
like,
thing
this
here.
guy's not gonna match with me, but like, whatever, I'm confident I could do this.
I'm like, this lady's going to be getting her doctorates. Like, what?
Oh yeah, because of course I put that in my bio.
Right.
Data analyst Fawn Kaplandis and student Sean Stevens bonded over camping and outdoor sports.
I think the second date, you told me you loved me.
Yes. I saw the sun and it was reflecting off of her hair. I could imagine growing old with this person and all the sappy stuff that men don't want to admit, but, you know, I wore my heart on my sleeve and I just said, you know, let's just give it all you got. So.
Exactly why we knew he was gonna come to the wedding. I'm like, ah!
First came love, then came marriage proposal, then came a long wait.
So we're like, okay, well, it'll be like 5 years till we get married.
That's right, they considered waiting 5 years to save $60,000 to wed at their dream venue, Zingerman's Cornman Farms in nearby Michigan. The U.S. is one of the most expensive places to get married. On average last year, couples tying the knot spent more than $1,600 on the dress. Just over $500 on cake and more than $2,400 on flowers. In all, the average cost for a wedding in 2018 was nearly $34,000.
You're also taught that it has to be big. You have to invite everyone, and you have to have the alcohol tab.
But then another path down the aisle popped up on her Instagram feed.
They started posting about tiny weddings. I'm like, okay, we could do this.
The posts were from her ideal venue, Cornman Farms,
So, do you want to pass me one of the picnic baskets?
where this year, owner and chef Kieran Hales is trying something new. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 chairs here.
That's it, it's maxed out.
That sure is tiny.
Yeah, it is a tiny wedding.
Their tiny wedding package is a bite-sized version of the lavish parties here that range from $17,000 to $250,000. But with 8 guests max, a tiny wedding costs $1,950. That's because the 90-minute celebrations of vows, cake, and champagne are stacked back to back with the same officiant, decorations, and photographer. Are you seeing fewer people that want to do the big traditional wedding?
I think that it's not fewer. I just think that now we're seeing maybe the newer generation of those guests getting married now in like their 20s and 30s are definitely moving more to our intimate style. I think that that group of people is a group of people that, as far as the wedding industry, we've underserved.
And now he's serving them where they are, their phones, where an entire tiny wedding can be planned in seconds. You select date. This is crazy. Time.
Pick that nice early spot. Yep.
30 a.m. Add to cart.
Yep, check out. Done.
This is how I order like toiletries.
To have everything done and pulled together for me was super easy.
It's incredible that it's just like one-click wedding planning.
Yes.
In all, they spent $8,000, including the dress, tux, and party favors. The venue just had them pick their cake flavor, music, buy their rings.
Wedding ready.
Wedding ready.
And show up.
She came around the corner, and I was just taken aback.
I absolutely am happy that we went this route. We can now buy a house, and then I can get my dog.
PhD puppy, as we like to call it.
Yes. But I think that is very American, that we can put our own twist on it. We can build this wedding that we really want, and it's okay if we only have 8 other people there.
If you're with the person that you love and you share that moment with them, that's all that matters.
Very cute. CBS checked in with the couple and they have yet to get their puppy, but they are looking to buy a house, and with the money they saved on their wedding, they have more to spend on that home and kickstart their new life together. Well, looking for something to do this weekend? We have got you covered. From a winter ball to a variety of sing-alongs, Madison is getting into the Christmas spirit, and so are Chris and I. A very festive weekend 6:08 is next on News 3 Now this morning.
for a forecast that keeps your family safe. Watch First Alert Weather.
Welcome to the weekend, folks. It's the third morning in the row that we've been dealing with some freezing drizzle out there. That is creating some slick spots, so please take it easy if you are going to be out on the roadways. 28 was our high. Temperatures will continue to fall as we go throughout your Saturday. Look for those temperatures into the mid-20s by the time we get you towards the afternoon and evening time.
All right, well, rain or shine or snow, whatever, there's plenty to do in the weekend, 6:08.
That's right. So here's a look at some of the events going on around town with a little help from our friends at Madison Magazine.
Yes, very helpful. The Overture Center and the Madison Symphony Orchestra are hosting 2 Christmas Carol sing-alongs this weekend. Chris, I know you'll like that. The first is the annual Madison Symphony Christmas. Each performance tonight and tomorrow afternoon will end with the entire audience invited to sing holiday favorites together. A separate event that's all about the singing of carols. Attendees include in this morning's free community carol sing led by Overture's principal organist. That event starts at noon.
Maybe there'll be some dancers there. I don't know. The director just told me I was too fast. He tried to get me dancing on camera.
Oh, okay.
But he was too slow. That's all right. A day-long benefit show does go on for local charities. That is taking place tomorrow at the High Noon Saloon. The Recreational Rhythms Winter Ball is in its 15th year, folks. It starts with the family-friendly or family-friend block. There we go. That's going to go from 2 to 5.
It's family-friendly, too.
Yeah, exactly. 2 to 5 o'clock, and that'll feature David Lando and Better Yeti. Then from 5:30 to close, several bands, including Madtown Manish Boys and Vanessa Tortolano, will keep an older crowd dancing. This event has raised more than $30,000 for organizations in this area.
Very cool. And there's an opportunity to get the kids into the holiday spirit this month. Olbrich's Holiday Express is on display until the end of this month. Large-scale model trains wind through holiday decorations, including hundreds of poinsettias and evergreens. You can check it out from 10 to 4 every day at the Olbrich Gardens.
And an annual holiday tradition returns to the Dane County Regional Airport. Holiday tunes will kick off today with performances at the south end of the terminal. Then at 4 o'clock tomorrow, there will be a free community sing-along. The live music will happen every day through next weekend. Times of each performance can be found on the airport's website.
Very fun. Well, for more ideas or activities and everything else Madison has to offer, you can grab a copy of this month's Madison Magazine.
All right. Well, you are looking live over the Capitol right now. I'll have your full forecast next on News 3 Now this morning.
But first, let's take a look at who's turning 3 today. Happy birthday, Inga, and all the other kiddos celebrating. Thanks for watching. We'll be right back.
Things to know before you go. If you are heading out once again, we are dealing with the freezing fog. That means slippery spots are certainly going to be there. Fog lights need to be on. We'll keep that freezing drizzle around as we go through the rest of today. Visibility has been low for a good portion of the morning. Most of that has been closer towards the lakeshore now. As you work your way throughout south central Wisconsin, visibility is getting better. That's some good news for us. As you work your way towards the eastern part of Dane County, especially northeastern, we're talking places like Windsor, DeForest, Sun Prairie. That's where the freezing fog is at its heaviest right now. This is a live look over the Edgewater sky camera. Still hazy, still cloudy, but things are getting better. Our temperature at 25 degrees right now. I think we may warm up another degree or two, but the reality is we're going to see those temperatures continue to drop as we go throughout the day. 20, it's not 21 anymore, but 20 is the temperature in the Dells. 24 as you work your way over towards Lone Rock. Some teens back towards the north and west. I want to highlight the north and west because that's where our air is coming from. That's why our temperatures are going to continue to drop as we go throughout your day. But I do think the air does remain drier. So eventually we get rid of some of the freezing drizzle that we see out there. Let's put this into motion, shall we? 3 o'clock, temperatures will be right around 24 degrees. Eventually, the skies begin to clear out. Here we are at 7 o'clock. Pay attention to the teens just back towards the north and west. Here's where that drier air comes in. So we start to see the clouds break up. That leads to some clearing skies overnight. Folks, a relaxing wind, clear skies this time of the year, yeah, our temperatures are going to begin to drop. So we are at 6 o'clock Sunday morning. That's where those temperatures are going to be right around 12 degrees. You work your way up towards the north where there's snow on the ground, and I think single digits will be the story once again. We'll see more sunshine on Sunday. By Sunday afternoon, look for those temperatures to be into the low 20s, and then we start to see just a little bit of cloud cover work its way on in here as we move towards Monday. What that is the cloud cover associated with a winter storm system that's going to pass oh so closely, but to the south. If you have been looking for a white Christmas, this is the shot. And I think we're going to throw away that shot. That's okay, though. That's okay. I think that means good news in terms of the weather as we go ahead. We'll see plenty of sunshine. There is one signal that's starting to show up around the 20th for perhaps a light snow event, maybe, but this model is alone on that one. We'll have to watch the rest of the models just to see if that trend continues. For now, the trend around the 20th is dry, and unfortunately, that trend takes us all the way up to Christmas Eve. So if you are maybe looking for that white Christmas, you've been dreaming of that white Christmas, we're going to drop that chance down to 20%. Let me cry real quick right here live on television. Here we go, though. Sunshine does stick around throughout this week. I still think that's fantastic. We don't get a lot of sunshine around here this time of the year.
No.
So enjoy that sunshine. Even the cloudy days should be relatively drier. Temperatures will make it towards perhaps the upper 30s by Monday of next week. And then what's not in the forecast is Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I believe in miracles. It's still possible.
I know. I think it's going to happen for you. You're always accurate with your forecasts, but kind of hoping you're wrong about this one, Chris.
I'm hoping that we somehow get some snow somewhere. I don't mind being wrong on that one.
Well, you will like this My Morning photo. Check out their snow,
Beautiful.
Chris. See, yay.
Right.
Thank you for sending it in, Paula. What does your morning look like? You can take a picture and post it on the Channel 3000 Facebook page or on Twitter using the hashtag MyNews3Morning. We will share our favorites right here on the show. And you can stick with News 3 all day long, and then tomorrow morning, hope you are hungry. We are getting ready for the upcoming holidays with some of Madison's best chefs and bakers. We have Longhorn Steakhouse, the Willie Street Co-op, and Clausen's joining us in studio. But first, this morning, thousands of cards are and counting. We share a very heartwarming update on that Prairie du Sac man whose dying wish was to receive as many Christmas cards as possible. We are back in a moment. Welcome back. The Prairie du Sac man with stage 4 pancreatic cancer, whose dying wish was to get as many Christmas cards as possible. His story has been viewed more than 35,000 times, and it's touched hearts around the world. This morning, Jamie Perez shares a very nice update.
Since Gene Whitenhiller shared his story last week,
I have stage 4 inoperable cancer.
the outpouring of love and support has left him speechless.
An overwhelming outpouring of love and support from people that I've never met.
His story has touched hearts around the world and struck a special chord for these 3 men in Milwaukee.
And we took it upon ourselves to go out our way, at least 2.5 hours away. To see the smile on this man's face, it was so priceless.
After seeing his story online, Markeith Powell, Marquain Given, and Earl Mindley took the money in their pocket to buy cards and personally drive themselves to Gene's home.
I was kind of nervous because we didn't know if he was going to be there or not. So we didn't know we was going to make a blank trip. But we cared about this man's story so much, we was going to wait out there for an hour or 2 or 3 until they come back home. That's how much we wanted to see him smile.
Lucky enough, Gene answered the door.
We knocked, we was nervous. He was like, bro, I'm nervous, bro.
Yeah, we was real
He was like, man, what should we do? I'm like, bro, just be calm, just be calm. So we knocked on the door, and the smile on their face, it was just like they knew us already.
Yeah, they greeted us. They let us come right in. They told us to come in.
Come in. I'm like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
So we get in there, he immediately hugged us. He hugged us like he knew us. It was just like, it was so crazy. It was like beautiful.
Family already.
Just an unbelievable experience that tugged at our heartstrings, that these 3 young men had taken the time and the effort to drive over to personally deliver these letters.
They hugged, talked, and prayed together.
Like he had won $1 million. Like he was just like so happy. He was just like, you guys are so beautiful. He kept saying that. He cried and cried.
Oh, yeah.
He was so shocked because the same day when we went, he got 3,000 cards in the U.S. mail.
I think about them often. They're just 3 tremendously generous, kind young men.
An act of kindness that Gene never expected, as these 3 men spent the day with a stranger who doesn't know how many days he has left.
I contacted my son about coming back to do a follow-up visit with us at some point. We'd love to have them come back.
For News 3 Now, I'm Jamie Perez.
So cute. This is just one example of the outpouring of love and support Gene says he's received since his story aired last week. Next week, Jamie will go back to Gene's home for a follow-up, and I know, Chris, you're excited for that one.
I am. I'm excited to see what he has to say.
I know. To see what you're going to say about the weather. Cold, no snow.
Oh, wow.
Horrible.
But you know what? There's some sunshine in there. There's always a sparkle in the forecast, and that is going to be the yellow orb in the sky, especially as we get you towards the middle of the week. Okay. Sunshine and cloud cover and chances for some flurries do exist on Monday. Here's your pet walk. Bella, Mia, and Poinette. If you're walking your cat around 3 o'clock today, look for temperatures to be in the mid-20s.
Chris, you just cracked me up with how positive you are, no matter what. Yellow orb in the sky. Thanks for watching.